right, I'm here at 113 Wallaps in Kyle. Super cute house. They've done some nice updates. So I'm gonna point out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Starting off, so this is our sewer cleanout line, and the connecting port is right there. So your wastewater line runs right here. It is awful close to this tree. So what can happen is tree roots can grow through or even crack wastewater lines. And so it probably connects kind of through here to where the city sewer connection is. If we were to make an offer on this house or any house, we're going to do a fiber optic camera scope of the plumbing, and we're going to check the whole line to make sure there's no tree roots growing through it. One thing that we always want to look for in Kyle and Buda is any foundation cracks. Now, it does look like someone has come through here and touched up the grout, because we can see there's a different neatness between these bricks and these along here. So I'm curious if it's got some foundation issues potentially, and they've kind of re-grouted to cover that up. Definitely possible, but that would have to be measured by a foundation measurement machine, which is also done during the home inspection. As cute and English ivy, kind of as this looks, this will degrade your brick, and it's a great way to also get termites. You do not want any type of growth or vegetation connecting, there we go, the ground to the house itself. So that would need to be removed. The gutter system, you do not want gutters dumping water into an area where it is held in and cannot drain away from the foundation, because that will cause foundation issues. So we can see here, the water is held in not quite so much by the steel siding, but by the concrete sidewalk itself. That is going to hold moisture against the foundation so that it doesn't drain properly. So this is something where I would dig a hole under and over so that the water can drain out. The front door lock is broken. Like, this doesn't really engage at all. So like, this is going to be the only way that the door locks. All right, so they have put in, I think it's probably brand new bamboo flooring, because there is some extra in one of the closets. So our living room area is approximately, I'm gonna say 18 by 20. Our kitchen, we have espresso colored cabinets, and this is actually one of the most standard granites for builders. Very easy to clean, and it's very simple. So they've updated the backsplash tile to like a metal tile. We have a 4-burner gas stove. This should be vented to the outside. Ooh, it is sticky. Ugh, oh my gosh, that's very sticky. So that is vented to the outside. You can see all the stickiness on there. Oof, it's a good clean. We have a walk-in pantry. Fridge. I think, are your friends here? Okay, not yet. I thought I heard something. All right, so our front 2 bedrooms are through here. So here is the hall bath. So there's no drawers for storage, and there's not a ton of countertop space. So just depending on who's going to be using this, they might. Oh, hello. All right. So okay, storage in here. There we go. A little bit of storage there. We have a 5x5 tile that goes up to about 6.5 feet. A drop-in enamel tub. There's a few gaps in the flooring right here, so they may have installed this themselves. There's another gap right here. It just, when you vacuum, you'll want to vacuum especially along that line to make sure you're sucking out any dirt that falls in there. And here was the extra flooring. So this front bedroom is about 10, I'm gonna say 9.5 by 12. Here is our laundry room. So washer dryer hookups, you can do a gas or electric dryer. Here's bedroom number 2. Also about 10 by 12. Both of these bedrooms have around the same size of closet space. It's about 6 feet. All right, garage. Okay, so they have done, it looks like a paint floor with flex on it. It's not epoxy. Here's our electrical. So we have tons of extra knockouts if you wanted to add any more electrical hookups. And then this is going to be a fantastic reverse osmosis system. So this is your filter. You typically change it every 6 to 12 months. This is so you can like crank it on and off. This is very expensive, very high quality. Our water heater should be right here. Yep. So this looks original. Oh, hold on. Nope. Serviced on 126. It's from 2014. So yes, this is going to be original. We don't have the pressure expansion tank on the top, but our TPR drain line is in good condition. We've got the drip pan. It is very clean in here. This is one of the areas where it's very common to see like pest droppings. So it's a good hint on whether you have any mice or rats getting into the attic because they can come in through this ventilation pipe here. So water heaters typically last around 10 to 15 years here. So it is, let me see, 12 years old now. So it is going to be considered at or past end of life. Here is the primary. So this is approximately, I'm gonna say 17 by 20. Same bamboo floor throughout. We have a couple areas where we've got gaps on the installation. This is one that's easier to fix. They actually have this thing where you can connect it to this board and slide it over to close that gap. That can happen as houses settle. So we have the same espresso cabinets, no drawers on this one either. So just think about the functionality of where you store your toothbrush, your toothpaste, because your only other storage is here. We've got lots of glass, a nice soaker tub, pretty private out of the backyard, no one can really see in. Somewhat small shower. I used to have a shower of the same size. So I am 6 feet in these shoes and this is right at eyeball level. So if you are tall, you're gonna want to get an extender on this. This is also your only storage space for bottles and all of that stuff. So everything else is gonna have to go on the floor or put a hook on here. Small toilet. And here is our walk-in. Pretty decent size. Definitely let me know how much hanging stuff you have. You could double hang this if you need to. All right.
Dad,
All right.
this house came from the shed.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
The shed? Look at this little house thing.
All right. So I have a feeling this seems pretty well built. I do have a couple concerns. I don't know how much rebar that they put in this. And the reason I'm curious about that, or at least how they attached it, is because this is where the original porch structure was. And we can see that it actually like kind of slants off at an angle from there. And the tile is cracking in the grout line right where that old concrete platform used to be. So this will be a continued problem because most likely they did not tie this in to that original slab. My other concern, and I'll show you once I go out there, is I don't think that there is enough of a slope on this. So what can happen is if water slows down too much as it's coming off your roof, it can start sinking into this area because it's created kind of a flat spot. And I think what they've put on here is probably a bitumen roof, which is like a roll of roofing material rather than shingles. And the flatter the roof, the more likely you are to have leakage. And it's so, just because of the angle of it, it's really hard to see like any of the top of here. No matter how far back I get, I really can't tell what type of roofing is on that. But the roof itself is a 3-tab roof. We can see that we have a little bit of shingle lift right around this vent and right there. Most likely this roof is going to need to get replaced. That's original. This is a new roof right here. We can see that that has what's called a dimensional lay shingle. It's a much higher quality and denser shingle. Looks like everyone else still has the original 3 tabs. Being a 12, 13-year-old roof at this point, 3 tabs are pretty much uninsurable from a payout perspective once they're more than 10 years old. So we can go into a little bit more detail on that over the phone if we need to. I do really like this tree. And then of course we've got a little storage shed here. All right, it's actually pretty cool. So he's put spray foam insulation in between the OSB and the exterior of the shed. It is actually quite comfortable in here, which is nice. Left a few tools. All right, this is a nice little storage spot. I like it. Another good thing is this house does have gutters all the way around, which is really, really important for making sure that the foundation stays stable. Because if you look right here, you can see how the drier the ground gets, the more it splits apart and cracks, and it also sinks down. And the ground under your foundation will do the same thing if you don't keep the soil moisture content consistent. So you have to do that 2 ways. One, gutters to move water away from the foundation during times of heavy rain, and then watering the foundation with the in-ground sprinklers if you have them during times of drought. I have not seen any sprinkler heads, and I did not see a sprinkler system in the garage. So yeah, that looks self-installed. That might be a soaker hose system that they've installed. It's hard to tell from this side of the fence. But watering your foundation will be something that's important to do, especially during drought. All right. So that's the house tour overall. I actually really like this house. Very few major issues. Roof is kind of the big one where I think it most likely needs to get replaced. Everything else looking pretty good. All right, so here is our HVAC unit. We can see that the slab that it's on is like kind of tilting that way just a little bit. What you'll want to do is add some shims on this side to bring it back level again, because what happens when the coolant that's in the coils that goes around the exterior of this unit, when that starts to tilt to one side, it creates higher pressure on this side of the coil system, and that will cause leaks. This does look like it's probably original. Let's see. Yeah, April 2014. So this is also considered at or past end of life. Most HVAC systems last about 9 to 13 years. So this is 12 years old. It is working, but who knows for how long. I like that we have no vegetation within about 12 inches of the siding, which is great. That will be overflow drain lines from the water heater, which is on the other side as well. Full gutters. That is going to be our fence to the backyard. And you do have, this is going to be a 20-foot difference in between the houses. This is one of the very few neighborhoods in Kyle that has wider lots, so that you have a 20-foot lot line from roof to roof. Not common in this area at all. Most of the time it's a 5-foot lot line, so it's 10 feet roof to roof. So I definitely like that as well. Landscaping looks really nice. I like the different varieties of trees that they have. Yeah, overall, we have an older systems in the house, but there are things that we can do from a inspection and replacement perspective to make sure that you're covered on those.